Good morning, everyone. My name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thanks for joining me today for Flosstube 133, where I have so much to show you. I'm so excited. I have my coffee, which I don't normally have on a Flosstube, but I'm trying to work from home on Wednesdays. It's sort of the only thing that's keeping me motivated and sane. So that's the plan. And it's funny because I bought some microphones. I bought some sort of lapel microphones just to, I want to do more tutorials in 2025. And I don't have any really good, like, I use a relatively old phone. My computer is not super high quality. My camera is old. So I don't have any good mics in my space. And so I want to buy a mic. So I'm like, oh, why don't I use it for my Flosstube? That sounds great. So I'm testing it. I'm like, oh man, this sounds really good. Why don't I test it drinking just to make sure? Friends, it was so loud. You think my drinking like this when I'm 2 feet away from the mic is loud? Imagine if you were here. Imagine if the mic was here. It was hilariously loud. So I'm not going to subject you to that. But what I will subject you to is a lot of stitching. I have a finished object that I have to send to Ireland. I have a fully finished object that is a new release, which you have seen in the thumbnail because I love her so much. She makes me so happy. I have a WIP that I've taken out of storage and started working on again, which I posted on Instagram yesterday. So if you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen it and you know what's coming. I have a gift from my mom. I have some sewing shopping. I have an update on my bingo board. Yeah, we just have a lot going on. But before we get to any of that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on my crafty and artistic adventures. And welcome back to anyone who's been hanging out with me for however long you've been with me. I'm coming on 5 years. It's been great to hang out with you all for 5 years. And it's been great to get to know you in the comments here on YouTube, which I'm terrible at responding to. I'm sorry, I read them, but I'm terrible about responding to them. And on Instagram, which I'm much better about. But it's been great to get to know you all. And I'm so happy to have you in my community, especially during times like this when community is just so important, like you are so important. Yeah, this is a channel about embroidery and cross stitch, other textile crafts, and history. And so if you're interested in any of that and you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. Also, if you could like and, share and comment and stuff, that would be great. It helps me, helps the algorithm know that people find me at least relatively interesting. I think I'm interesting. I also want to thank my patrons. I do have a Patreon that is, it's $5 a month, but it supports kind of what I do. And I post history and stitching over there, depending on what comes across my radar. I just posted an article about medieval Irish bells, if you're interested in medieval Irish bells. And I just found there has been new research done on the Bayeux tapestry, which I will post up this weekend. So there's things happening over on Patreon, and that is linked down below. And then finally, the last pitch I have for you is that I have a couple of Etsy shops. I sell cross stitch patterns like this guy and this lady and that guy. And that's in my Christy's Corner needlework shop. And then I also have a spoolery shop, which I sell physical objects, crafts, and objects made out of vintage sewing paraphernalia. So that's all listed down below. And with that, let's get started. I think I want to start with my new release because I am obsessed. I'm obsessed, friends. It's a chicken. It's a 3D MF and chicken. This is Michelle, the prosperity hen. So this is a square pattern. It is 65 by 65. And I did film a tutorial of how to put her together, but it's not edited. So it'll come out probably next week. I won't have time until the weekend to edit that because it's pretty intense. But I have this first one is named Michelle. And you may be thinking, Christy, Michelle is a weird name for a chicken. And it's not, but okay. Well, let me tell you the story about these. These are prosperity hens. And they are from, the idea is from northern India, where having a flock of chickens, if you're in a rural area, was viewed as a sign of prosperity, right? So you want like lots of chickens, because chickens are really useful, right? They provide food, they provide eggs and meat and feathers, and these are all very useful things, right? These are all very useful things for a rural environment. And so the women in northern India would take their sari scraps and turn them into fabric chickens, and they would string them up on garlands. So you'd have like 5 or 10 chickens on a garland with a bell at the end. And I saw this and I thought, oh my God, that would be such a cute idea for a series of cross stitch patterns. But the great thing is that you can take any square and turn it into a chicken. Any square can be turned into a chicken. So this square is 65 by 65, and it's about 4 1/4 inches ish. This is on a 28 count linen. It's Zweigart linen in DMC. And the nice thing about this is that it is a kind of a scrap buster, because it doesn't use a lot of thread. So I'll put up the number of stitches and kind of all the information right here so you can see what it is. But I love this. So she's named Michelle. And when I decided to do this, I figured I would have a lot of them, which means I'd have to come up with a lot of names. And I'm not creative like that. So at first I thought, why don't I name them after medieval women? Because I'm a medieval historian and that makes sense. So my prototype is Hildegard. Because you know I love me some Hildegard. So my prototype is Hildegard. But that also felt, I don't know, not as fun. So then I decided I'm going to name him after my stitchy friends. So I'm naming him after stitchy friends with permission. And this is Michelle of Michelle G. Bendy Stitchy. This is Michelle. And I love her. I love her. The finish isn't perfect because I didn't have a magnifying glass, and so I think I missed a couple stitches, but it's so forgiving. It's so forgiving. So in the tutorial, which I'll post, I show you how to add the tail and the beak, and I show you how to do this little like crest. I love it so much. So my next one is already designed. And she's named Denise after Denise from Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. And they're not all going to be Flosstubers. I just happened to be like, these are the two I like. For some reason, this screamed Michelle and Denise screamed Denise. And that's just where I went. As you can see, it is finished like a biscornu. So it's finished like a biscornu. And you can either hang it up, like make it into a hanging, or you can stick a flock of them in a dough bowl or something, right? Because it's also just like a little pillow. And the patterns that I have are, in fact, I'll put a picture up here of this pattern just so you can see that it has the eyes and the top and the little like gobbly gobble in the pattern. But this is my new release. So by the time you see this, she will be ready in my Etsy shop. But I want to do a giveaway because I always do a giveaway for my patterns. So if you would like to win Michelle, put Cluck, C-L-U-C-K, Cluck, in the description, in a comment down below. You can win a Michelle chicken. I also plan on in the next couple weeks making a few finishing packs so you can string up 5 chickens. So I'm gonna have at least 5 chicken releases in the next few months, and so I will offer a finishing pack for finishing them like this. So it will include beads, spools, bells, tails, beaks in all different fabrics. The beads will all be white, the spools will all be natural, the bells will be either a cone or like a cowbell looking. You don't get to choose. The fabrics will all be different. You don't get to choose. It'll just be a random draw. I love her. I love her. So this is Michelle the chicken, Michelle the prosperity hen. She is available in my Etsy shop. And if you want to win a copy, just say cluck down below. All right. So that is my fully finished object. My finished object is Stitchy Natty's Ink Circle Round Robin Elemental Dragons Fire. So I finished. I finished my part, which was this part. Was it? Yes, it was this part here. It was this part here. And it's interesting to see how you stitch differently than other people. So I stitch in hand. So my tension is very different than everyone else, but also my coverage is slightly different, which I find interesting. It's hard to see. It's hard to see actually in the camera. Sorry, I'm like looking at it. It's hard to see in the camera, but I can definitely see a difference between like this neck and this neck. And I've counted it multiple times, and like it's the same. If the stitches are correct, but you know, speaking of correct stitches, oh my God, friends. Okay, we're settling in here. We're settling in. We're gonna drink a little sip of coffee before I tell you about my woes, my stitching and frogging woes. So I finished all the dragons. I did all the dragons first. So all 3 of these guys first. Like awesome. I'm so close because like the fire is not the hard, like there's not that much fire. So I get up here to this fire right here, and it's touching the dragon's face. As you can see, I fixed it. It's not supposed to be touching the dragon's face. I had gotten off right here, and this entire dragon was wrong. It was 1 stitch off. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was like so close, and I've been really powering through this because like I'm trying to get my stitchy mojo back. I'm late on sending this out. Like this is a 2024 round robin, and I'm the weakest link, right? But I could not leave it. And Nati was so kind. She's like, what if I told you that you could keep it? And I'm like, too late. I've already ripped it out, because I have a policy that if I have to frog something, I can't put it down and like restitch it. I can't put it down until it's frogged, because that's a barrier to stitching, right? When you have low stitchy mojo, having to pull it out is a barrier. So I was taught, you can't see it then, I was taught, or someone said early on, that if you have to frog something, frog it right away and then put it away and put it in timeout or whatever, because then when you pull it out, you can just do it. You don't have to think about it. You know that the problem's been taken care of. You just have to restitch it. That's what I did. But even if I hadn't done that, I'm not going to send her a mandala pattern with the dragon all wonky. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I have self-respect. I have stitchy self-respect. But I restitched it over the weekend, 2 days, done. And I'm really glad that I fixed it. I'm really glad that it's done. And this is going to be sent off to Rachel Ray of Rachel Ray Crafts and Rachel Ray Fiber Art. She has 2 channels, who is the next in line. And then Crafty Whitney is the person who's sending it to me, and so she's sending me Rachel's, and then that's it. So we are almost done with our stitchy round robin. Let me get back where I was with my coffee. Imagine having to hear that. It was so loud. It was so loud. It was unbelievably loud. All right, so the pattern that I was stitching yesterday. So yesterday morning, I got up a little early and I got my coffee, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start on a project, because what I've been finding is that now that this is done, I didn't have anything that was like ready, if that makes sense. They're all kind of like, all my WIPs are ready, but none of them were like ready. So I said, okay, I'm going to, in the morning, put a strand in, and then in the evening, it'll be in my mind that this is what I'm stitching. And it is my Nuns Harvesting Phalluses Medieval Marginalia. So what I did yesterday during the day is some of this kind of dark green, not all of it, but some of it. And then yesterday evening, I did all this light green. So the bottom of the tree is done, and what I have next are penises. And then I have a nun over here. So I am nowhere near done. I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm maybe 20% done. But I've gotten this out again. This is all DMC. It is being stitched on a Cedar River linen overcast linen. And I think 36 count. 36 count I really like. I think it's 36 count. So there's that. And if you want to buy this, I'll post a picture here of what the final project looks like, redacted, so that way I don't get dinged. But you can find this in my Etsy shop too, along with like other medieval marginalia like this guy. This lady is my newest one, and then I have a cat licking its butt. So these are all reproductions of images that are in medieval manuscripts. And I love them. I love this series, and I'm excited to keep working on this. I did stitch a model of this, but I gave it to a friend of mine who is also medieval. She's a medieval literature, medieval lit professor, and she wanted it, so I gave it to her. Yeah, so that is my stitching. I don't have any other stitching for you. But I do want to talk about my bingo card. So in my last video, I introduced my bingo card for the year. This is my yearly bingo. And I asked you all whether you wanted me to do flower stickers to mark them off or birds. And unanimously it was birds. Although Sarah from our Stitching Kingdom was like, why don't you just do both and be maximalist? And I'm like, that's a great idea. I do love maximalism. But I think that it would be hard to kind of do that well. So I'm going to stick with birds. Here you can see what all the numbers are. So far, I have opened up a high yield savings account. These are not all Stitchy Goals. Some of them are Stitchy Goals, but some of them are not. A high yield savings account. And I went on a road trip with my husband, which was one tick. And this is, I have to go on a little vacation, just me and my husband and my dog, or go on a date with my husband once a month. So I have one little tick. So this road trip was this tick. And yeah, that's where I am. Oh my God, so exciting. Speaking of this, one of them is number 13 here, is attend Rare Book School. So I posted this on Patreon, so my patrons already know about this. But I applied for a fellowship to attend Rare Book School, which is a book arts department institute at the University of Virginia. I got the fellowship. So I'm going to Rare Book School in June. I'm going to learn all about teaching the history of the book and about bookbinding and all these different things. I am so excited. I'm going to start a book arts minor at my university, which is going to be amazing. So that is super duper exciting, which means that number 13 is going to happen barring any unforeseen circumstances. So that's very exciting. And also, if you want a bingo card, I have a bingo card template in Patreon. My free followers can just get the PDF. My paid followers, my paid patrons can also get the PDF, or I will make them their own bingo card. So if you are interested in a bingo card, let me know. I will make it for you if you're a patron, or go over there and download you one. I have a Bayou Tapestry one, which is what I'm using, and then I have a general Stitchy themed one as well. So there you go. So that's exciting. Bingo card is a go. And I'm going to update you on my bingo card, I think at the end of each month. So it's the end of the month. So that's why I did that. Now let's talk about Happy Mail and gifties from my mom. My mom is a knitter, and she has a knitting podcast. It's more of a vlog that's knitting themed. Excuse me. I will link her down below. But she got an she got multiple advent calendars, and she was making this hat, which I don't remember what the hat's name is. I'll find it and put it right here. She can never remember what the name of the pattern was either, but you'll know it now. And it is a hat and scarf combo. There's a little string on it. This is embroidery floss, not that my mom didn't weave in her ends. So it's this really long thing. I'm gonna put it on for you. Isn't this amazing? I love it so much. So she gave it to me for my birthday. So it's nice and cozy. And it has a tassel that I have to put on the end that she made. So it has a tassel. And the tassel is the same yarn as the front, as like the first one. So the first one is this right here. And the tassel is the same. And I love it. I love it so much. In fact, I wore it yesterday. I think I wore it yesterday on my dog walk because it got a little bit chilly on my dog walk yesterday. So I wore it. It was super warm. And because it's so big, it covers my ears. I have kind of a big head. And so like literally, I actually have a big head. And so hats often don't cover my ears. So it covered my ears really nicely with a little tassel. Oh God, I love it. So I got this in the mail. Let's pull it off and see how my hair looks. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Oops. So I got that. And then she also sent some of her paintings. So she does watercolor. And when I was affiliated with the Columbus Arts Council, they were looking for small art to put into these little frames. I'm no longer affiliated with the Arts Council, but Mom wanted me to have this anyway. And so it's all of her little tiny little arts. So I'm going to I'm going to cut these out and put them on something, and they're going to be arts for me, not for the tiny truck. So I got that. And she sent me, sorry about the crinkling, a card that I'm assuming that she did as well. So that was from my mom. And finally, I have some sewing purchases. These are from Madame Sew. Now, I've purchased from Madame Sew before. It feels kind of scammy because it's all Instagram ads. But it is legit, and you do actually get the stuff. I got a large wool pressing mat. I got a pressing cloth, ironing cloth, which I thought would be useful. It's like a mesh so that your iron doesn't actually touch the fabric, which I thought would be really good for stitching. I got a sewing machine LED strip light strip, because my sewing machine is my sewing room is not bright, and where my sewing machine is, the only light is like behind me, and it's just not very good. So I got that. I got 2 boxes of sewing clips. These are like Wonder Clips, and they were buy one get one free, so I got 2. I got 2 chalk pens, a yellow and a white, also buy one get one free, and this is good for drawing lines and stuff that can be erased easily. I got a seam guide, ruler, and magnetic guide because I'm terrible at straight lines, which is also why I got a presser foot with a ruler, because I'm terrible at straight lines. And then finally I got a free thimble, Madame Sew thimble. So that's what I got. Here is what it is, Madame Sew. And here is the madamsew.com. madamsew.com. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I think I have this new sewing machine that I got from my aunt when she passed. And so I've been doing more sewing. I've been hemming things, you know, I've been fixing things, and I just want to kind of keep doing that because I've been really enjoying making things. And one of my bingo board is make the travel project bag prototype that's been rolling around in my head for 2 years. So that needs to happen. And then I also have some silk sari fabric that I want to make into Prosperity Hen garlands for a craft fair that I'm doing back in May. So I want to make sure that I have good sewing if I'm going to be selling my sewing, which I've never done before. I've never sold my sewing before. I think that's it. So thank you so much for watching. It has been great to hang out with you this morning. If you are interested in winning Michelle the Chicken, you can put Cluck in the comments down below. And you can buy her over on my Etsy shop if you can't wait. And as I said, I will have a finishing tutorial that will show you how to completely finish her, including the crest, which I love, including the crest. And then once I have a bunch together, I will show you how to string them in a garland. That'll be a separate video. This is just the turning it into a chicken video. All right, that's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in about a week, and I will do the drawing on my neck for the pattern on my next Flosstube. So it will not be in the tutorial. It would just be in my next Flosstube. I'll do the drawing. Thank you so much for watching. Please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.